My family is now fractured after my sibling and his partner shared my pregnancy news with my volatile ex. My name is Sarah, and several years ago, an event reshaped my life's course. I was in a relationship with Ryan, my former boyfriend, for over 5 years. We were both 27, planning for marriage and searching for a home together. But in our final year, everything unraveled. Ryan suffered a sudden mental health crisis that turned our lives upside down. For his safety, he was admitted to a mental health facility. When he returned, he was unrecognizable. His personality had shifted entirely, marked by intense delusions, hallucinations, and persistent suspicion. The man I loved was gone, replaced by someone who no longer saw me as a partner trying to help. He accused me of infidelity, claimed I was manipulating those around him, and frequently expressed disdain for me. It was devastating. After his release, I took on the responsibility of caring for him, clinging to hope for his recovery. I attended every mental health appointment and stayed awake countless nights to ensure he didn't wander off during his episodes. But as his anger grew, his paranoia became suffocating and unyielding. He no longer trusted me yet refused to let me out of his sight, convinced I was betraying him. When I noticed a slight improvement, I made the hardest choice of my life. I ended the relationship. I waited until I believed he was stable enough to manage alone, then helped him move back to his parents' home. Guilt overwhelmed me, as though I were abandoning him. But I was emotionally drained, having been unloved for months, serving only as an emotional target while mourning the man I once knew. To protect his privacy, I won't share specific details about his condition, but I never held him responsible. I chose to prioritize my well-being, even if it meant enduring a painful, traumatic breakup. We tried to remain friends for a time, and I continued supporting him when I could. Ryan held on to hope that we'd reconcile, but I was moving forward. Soon after, I met James, a wonderful man, now my partner, who is a few years older than me at 30. When Ryan learned I was dating James, he spiraled into another severe episode. He threatened both of us, falsely believing I had cheated on him with James, despite meeting James only after our breakup. The threats were relentless and intense. My focus was on our safety and Ryan's well-being, so I informed his family, who ensured he received help. I realized I could no longer maintain contact with Ryan. Clinging to our friendship was worsening things for both of us. The only link I had to Ryan was Emma, my sibling's partner. Emma, 29, had been Ryan's friend for years and knew the complexities of our relationship but remained neutral. I considered her a friend, and it comforted me to know Ryan had someone he could trust, even if it wasn't me. In March 2022, my life shifted again. I discovered I was 3 months pregnant with James's child and was still processing the news. I shared it cautiously with my family and close friends, begging them to keep it confidential. I wasn't ready for a public announcement, feeling nauseous, anxious, and overwhelmed at the thought of added stress. But within 24 hours of telling my family, Ryan called me. In a message, he said he knew about the pregnancy and bizarrely claimed he was seeking custody of the child. My heart sank. I could tell he was slipping into another episode. I didn't respond, but alerted his family. I prayed they could keep him safe, and that this wouldn't disrupt the new life I was building. Ryan and I hadn't spoken in over a year, and he didn't know where I lived or worked, so I wasn't worried about a physical confrontation. Only Emma could have shared the news with him. When I confronted her, she admitted it immediately, apologizing profusely, saying she hadn't considered the consequences. She thought Ryan would handle the news well and deserved to know. I was furious, but since I hadn't explicitly forbidden her from telling Ryan, I wondered if it was an honest mistake. I forgave her to keep the peace, but firmly told her not to share any more details about me or the baby. She promised it wouldn't happen again. Months passed without contact from Ryan. Last weekend, James and I held a baby shower, styled as a party at a bar with a reserved function room and 80 loved ones celebrating with us. For a moment, the night felt perfect, filled with laughter, hugs, and excitement for this new chapter. Then I saw Ryan near the bar, scanning the crowd. My stomach dropped. I slipped away before he spotted me and alerted security, explaining he wasn't invited. The venue was cordoned off for our event, so I watched, heart pounding, as security approached him. His face twisted in anger, and he began shouting, demanding to speak with me before leaving. James and friends tried to de-escalate, but the situation worsened. Ryan yelled that he was the baby's real father, and that James and I had never truly parted. I hid in the restroom, terrified, until my mother confirmed Ryan had left after more ranting. The party ended early, and I couldn't stop crying, feeling humiliated. Days later, my emotions still raw, I confronted Emma. She was the only one who could have told Ryan about the shower's time and place. She admitted it immediately, apologizing but then asking how I could keep this from Ryan. Her question infuriated me. I told her in a voice I barely recognized that she was cut off from my life and the baby's. I'm not proud of how I shouted, but I was in shock at her recklessness. It wasn't her news to share. My sibling called later, pleading for Emma's forgiveness. He acknowledged her mistake, but argued he shouldn't be punished alongside her, as cutting her off meant losing updates about the baby. He even suggested blaming Ryan's reaction rather than Emma, claiming she didn't expect him to show up. I don't hold Ryan fully accountable. His severe mental illness drives his actions, and I believe he'll regret it when he's stable. I informed his family, who said he was readmitted to a mental health unit after threatening self-harm if he couldn't see my child. My heart aches for Ryan's struggles, but my priority is clear. I don't feel safe. I have a child to protect, and Ryan's belief that the baby is his terrifies me. I've stopped speaking to Emma and my sibling. My family thinks I'm too harsh, insisting my sibling deserves to meet his niece or nephew. We still don't know the gender. But I can't trust Emma after her betrayal, and my anger persists. I keep imagining what could have happened if Ryan confronted me at the shower or worse. My parents and family have agreed not to share baby updates with Emma or my sibling, or they'll be cut off too. But I'm unsure how long I can maintain this before breaking. James has been my rock. Without him, I'd be lost. I'm desperate for advice. Holding these boundaries is increasingly difficult. I fear news will leak to Emma or another family member. My parents seem hesitant to promise they won't inform my sibling after the baby's birth. I feel like I'm barely holding on. Update 1. I needed to share an update, especially since many warned me about Emma, and sadly they were right. My life changed rapidly. My baby arrived early, and I'm thrilled to share that James and I now have a beautiful boy, 10 weeks old, born at 38 weeks. We're utterly in love with him and couldn't be happier. After the initial incident, James and I made a big decision. We moved from our small one-bedroom apartment to a larger house to accommodate our growing family. Proximity was a factor. Our old place was 5 minutes from my sibling and Emma's, and I couldn't risk Ryan showing up, especially since Emma likely knew our address. Our new home is a 45-minute drive away, adding a layer of safety. We didn't share the address with them. The first month in our new home was peaceful. Ryan's family informed me he was in a prolonged mental health crisis, hospitalized for an extended period due to a persistent psychotic episode. He was refusing medication. I also told them about his connection with Emma, and they restricted her hospital visits. My family stopped pushing me to forgive Emma. My mother, after a candid talk, understood why I distanced myself from my sibling. It broke my heart to pull away from someone I deeply cared for, but I knew I had to protect my son. Things didn't stay calm. Months later, Ryan called, newly released from the hospital. He was remorseful, apologized for the baby shower incident, and acknowledged the child wasn't his. He cried, asking to apologize to James in person. James, still hurt, declined. I forgave Ryan, emphasizing it wasn't his fault, but I couldn't allow him near me or the baby, threatening police involvement if he tried. He seemed to accept this, and we ended the call. 2 weeks later, Ryan appeared at James's workplace, pleading for forgiveness. He broke down, apologizing but rambling incoherently, indicating he was still unstable. He said, "I'm sorry for confronting you publicly. I should have done it privately. You didn't know the baby wasn't yours, and I humiliated you." James stayed calm, accepted the apology, and asked him to leave, then called me. I was devastated. Emma must have told Ryan where James worked. I contacted Ryan's family, who said he hadn't returned home. He wasn't allowed to drive due to multiple speeding violations, but had taken his mother's car without permission. Days later, authorities found him disoriented in a construction site 20 hours away. He was hospitalized again, and his family retrieved him. They promised to update me if he's released. My sibling requested a meeting, visibly upset. We met at McDonald's, where he revealed Ryan had visited their home after the baby shower hospitalization. Ryan was manic, overly affectionate with Emma, who reciprocated flirtatiously. My sibling made an excuse to remove Ryan and later confronted Emma, who denied any impropriety. Ryan later returned, confessed to an affair with Emma, and showed my sibling incriminating texts. My sibling demanded Ryan leave, and when Emma returned, she initially denied the affair but eventually admitted it, begging forgiveness. My siblings sent her to her parents' home, and their relationship appears over. I haven't heard from Emma since. I don't understand why Emma involved Ryan in my pregnancy, but I'm relieved they're both out of my life. I live in constant fear of Ryan reappearing. His intrusion has left me with obsessive habits, checking locks 5 times before bed. Despite this, life with James and our son is settling into a peaceful rhythm. Update 2. I'm sharing another update because much has happened, and it's weighing on me. Sadly, the news isn't positive. My sibling officially ended things with Emma, and while our relationship remains strained, we can now talk politely. Life with James and our baby is wonderful, though parenting is challenging. I haven't returned to work post-maternity leave. Grateful James's income allows me to stay home. For a while, there was no news from Ryan or his family. I knew he was in long-term mental health treatment, and his silence seemed like a good sign. But a month ago, at 2 a.m., I received a bizarre text from him about meeting someone from the future, needing to hide, and decoding secret messages in Christopher Nolan's films to win $1 million. I wasn't surprised, as such messages weren't new. I sent a screenshot to his sister and moved on. Her lack of response was odd, as she's usually prompt. 2 days later, she called, sobbing, asking if I'd heard from Ryan that night. She revealed he took his life hours after texting me and 20 others. He stole his mother's car again, despite her hiding the keys, and drove erratically. He hit another car, pushing it off the road into a tree. The young couple inside, both 17, survived with minor injuries. Dashcam footage showed it was a hit and run. Ryan sent the erratic message 15 minutes after the crash and died 3 hours later. I didn't attend his funeral, feeling it wasn't right given our history. Emma posted a crying selfie on Instagram from the funeral with a caption about mental health advocacy, which disgusted me. Processing Ryan's death is hard. I'm relieved my family is safe, but miss the person he was before his illness. His death is a tragic loss, and I ache for his family. We all hoped he'd recover, but his mental illness changed him irrevocably. Update 3. I didn't plan to update again so soon, but life has thrown another twist. 3 months after Ryan's death, I thought we were finding normalcy, but everything unraveled. 2 weeks ago, Ryan's sister, Claire, called crying. While sorting Ryan's belongings, they found a box hidden in his closet, wrapped in a sweater, containing hundreds of photos of me and James. At the grocery store, walking to our car, James leaving work, and me with the baby stroller. Some were taken from across the street, others from inside parked cars, spanning months until days before his death. Our new home, chosen for safety, had been compromised. Worse, the box contained a journal page with Ryan's handwritten notes, detailing plans to abduct our baby, believing he could prove it was his. There were sketches of our house layout, our routines, and notes on accessing the nursery window. The most chilling entry, dated 2 days before his death, read, "Sarah will see soon. She'll forgive me when she sees how happy the baby is with his true father. James is just confused. I must save my son from their lie." I called the police, who filed a report but could do little since Ryan is deceased. They increased neighborhood patrols and suggested security upgrades. James took time off to install cameras and motion sensors. We suspect Ryan got our address from my mother, who left a birthday card with our new address on the counter during my sibling's visit with our baby. When confronted, my sibling admitted he mentioned our move to Emma, possibly revealing enough for her to piece together our location and share it with Ryan during their affair. My sibling is devastated, begging forgiveness, but I need time to process. A day ago, a woman approached me in the park, recognizing me from police photos. She was the mother of one of the teens Ryan hit in the crash. She said Ryan called the hospital repeatedly to speak with her daughter, supposedly to check on her recovery. But she believes he was ensuring her daughter couldn't identify him, possibly planning something bigger. She suggested the crash might have been a test or distraction. The police see no evidence beyond reckless driving during a mental episode, but her words haunt me. What if Ryan's death wasn't just a tragic end? What if he was planning something worse? Panic attacks have returned, triggered by car doors or unfamiliar vehicles. James suggested moving again, but I'm exhausted from running. I want to raise our son in peace. My parents now understand the gravity and have stopped pushing reconciliation. My father offered to help if we relocate. Therapy is helping, but some days are tougher. I refuse to let Ryan's illness steal more of my happiness, yet even in death, he continues to haunt me. Update 4. I didn't expect to write again, but the past few weeks have been chaotic. Just when I thought Ryan's death might bring closure, things grew more complex. A month ago, a woman named Rachel messaged me on Facebook, claiming to be Ryan's girlfriend for the last 8 months of his life. Her profile seemed genuine, and she sounded confused and hurt, not angry. She saw my name in Ryan's phone and wanted clarity on our relationship. Ryan had told her he was single, claiming his ex, S, had moved away years ago with no contact. He never mentioned the baby or stalking. Skeptical but curious, I met Rachel for coffee in a public place. She resembled me strikingly, same height, hair color, and style. She shared hundreds of texts from Ryan, filled with love notes and future plans, some sent on days he was stalking us. On a day he photographed me with the stroller, he texted Rachel about wanting kids with her. She was unaware of his mental health issues, as he hid his hospitalizations, claiming business trips or family visits. She planned to have him over the night he died, but grew worried when he didn't respond, learning of his death from Claire. Rachel revealed Ryan asked odd questions about her daycare job, security measures, schedules, and children's families 2 months before his death. She thought he was curious about her work, but now I fear his intentions. I foolishly asked Claire to review more of Ryan's belongings with me. In his apartment, we found another box behind his dresser with maps of our neighborhood, James's workplace, and my parents' house, marked with routes, security camera notes, and busy times. A folder labeled Contingency Plans outlined scenarios. Plan A, meet Sarah privately. Plan B, approach mutual friends. Plan C, create a crisis. Plan D, direct action, detailing our house, schedule, and our baby's sleep and feeding patterns. Claire revealed Ryan made a 17-minute call the night he died, just before stealing his mother's car. It was to Emma. My sibling confirmed Emma received a call but claimed it was a wrong number, a ranting, crazy person she quickly hung up on. I confronted Emma, who said Ryan called in a panic, needing help to return something of mine. She refused to meet, suggesting he send it through his family. He grew agitated, saying everyone was against him. Before hanging up, he muttered, "If I can't fix this, I'll ensure no one else gets hurt because of me." I wonder if Ryan called Emma with a final plan, and if she knew more than she admitted. The timeline, call, car theft, crash, and suicide feels too coincidental. Perhaps the crash snapped him out of his delusions, realizing how far he'd gone. Maybe his death was his way of stopping himself from something worse. Rachel has become an unexpected ally, helping me piece together Ryan's final months. We talk daily, finding comfort in sharing our experiences with someone else affected by his illness. James and I decided to stay in our home, refusing to let Ryan's shadow dictate our lives. Our son thrives, unaware of the chaos, and I'm determined to keep it that way. Therapy helps, though I still check locks obsessively and startle at unfamiliar cars. My sibling and I are slowly rebuilding our bond, but trust remains fragile. Thank you for watching my story. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and press the bell icon. Stay tuned for more real-life stories, get more experiences.